We learned a little bit about your guys' childhood, where you grew up. You graduated from SMU, and then every tennis player has that decision. Are we going to go pro, or are we going to call it quits and go do the day job, which I think, 95% of people end up doing, probably 99. I mean, but people who play college tennis. You guys were crushing it in men's doubles at SMU. You guys had a lot of success, and you said, we're going to go chase this dream of becoming the top men's doubles team in the world, like Mike and Bob Bryan. You guys had a lot of good people in your corner. Take me to the journey of those years you played on the tennis tour, what that grind was like, some of the experiences you had. And I know there's some crazy stories involved with it, so we'll touch on those as well.
Yeah, I mean, our dream was always, to either go pro in baseball or tennis. And as you start, kind of narrowing it down to tennis, I think by high school, we were like, okay, let's do this. Made it through college, got out of college, and just grinding, just traveling.
And
our dad was great. Our dad was traveling with us a lot. He was our coach, and just navigating, traveling around Europe. I mean, we've been to probably 20 plus countries, and
find yourself in some crazy situations.
Yeah, I mean, we went to Belgium a lot. That's kind of where we first started, and Italy. I mean, Finland. You name it. We went there, and it's just a grind. It's like week in, week out. You're having to play these matches, and half the time, you're traveling to these countries and you're losing 10-8 in the third set tiebreaker, and you're like, you have to be really, optimistic and like, we're gonna get this. But yeah, I mean, we grinded for a while, and we got to be, see a lot of really, really cool places, and we're super fortunate for that. And it was some of the best memories, we've ever had, being able to travel around like that. But ultimately with tennis, it's such a grind, and especially doubles. Like, you don't make money unless you're top 30. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're only making $150K if you're 50 in the world. But
you guys were still doing well. You won 14 titles?
14 different titles together. He won one challenger.
Yeah, we were doing well at the end of our careers. The second half of the year leading up to our off season, I played 13 weeks straight in a row in Europe with this guy, Ruben Gonzalez. He got injured. Well, yeah, he had his experience teaching. And
mid-July, I came down with a wrist injury, a little tendonitis, and
got better.
Went out and hit on a Monday. We were supposed to travel to Europe that weekend, and it hurt. Next day hurt worse. Next day way worse. Couldn't even make contact with the racket.
How is that? Like, for you, and then also for you as his twin and his doubles partner?
Well, it was new. We hadn't really ever done it before.
I mean, we were like planning on going to Europe, and the goal is always to, you want to try to get to 250 in the world before the summer or tail end of the summer, so that you can get into every challenger, which is basically AAA before you get to ATP. And so we were going to go grind, and we were ready to do it. And I was like, man, all right, you go play with Ruben, and luckily he was free. And I was like, I'll meet you, in a couple weeks when this is all healed. And, a couple weeks turned into 6 months.
Wow.
And I was just rehabbing, and nothing was working. I finally got a cortisone shot, and he went 13 weeks in a row. I got this, my friend Harrison Adams got me this deal with this amazing family in New York City, teaching this young 16-year-old kid. And so I flew up there for 6 weeks straight and just coaching there while Hunter's grinding in Europe. And we basically came back after all of that and was given this opportunity for pickleball. And it was...
Well, I personally was like, well, geez, I have to go do this again next year, defend all these points. Like, I just realized it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do anymore. And the grind wasn't as glamorous as people maybe sought out. Like, my mom would always say, oh, you guys are going on vacation. Like, no, Mom, it's like a crazy grind. She came to a few tournaments in Europe and realized it's no joke.
Do you think the wrist injury altered the trajectory of y'all's tennis career? Like, significantly? Like, could you have gotten, or do you think you kind of maxed out where you were gonna?
No, I think definitely
our level was there.
We hadn't hit our potential. I mean, if you look right now, there's so many players that we used to play with and beat, and they're top 30. I mean, our good buddy Lloyd Glasspool, he just won Wimbledon in doubles, and Julian Cash, we played him a bunch in college. And so
our level was there, but it's always a risk doing something like that, because you can get injured, and it can happen in the blink of an eye, and it kind of did, and it put it into perspective of, while he was injured, I was living the dream of what we wanted to be and made it to top 200, but it wasn't what I wanted at the time either, and he didn't really want even to be teaching tennis at that point. So
I mean, it's just a grind. You know what it takes to get there, and it's like it's just kind of never ending. And to be honest, like probably our last couple years in tennis, it just like, you know, kind of just the same mundane things. You go on court, you're practicing, you feel like you're getting like barely better. Like you work so hard to just get a little bit better. And yeah, the injury definitely put it into perspective of just, you know, we were kind of not on our way out, but we were kind of like, man, I don't think we would have fully, if I didn't get injured, I don't think we would have decided to be like, let's end this.
we could have dragged it out maybe a few,
and you could have grinded and, you know, you get to top 100, doesn't really change your schedule. You're still not even getting into Grand Slam. So I think it was a huge blessing in disguise. I think it was a total God thing. It just kind of led us on this path. And at first we sat on it and we're like, screw that. Like
pros and cons list,
like,
everything.
There's no way. And then after about a month, like we literally
Roscoe's mom literally, we played in Hawaii and she convinced us to play and we did. And
yeah.